Welcome, friends,
to the How-To Heretic.
I'm Uncle Mark.
And I'm Uncle Dan.
And this is your user's guide to life on the outside.
That's right. Leaving religion is the first step into a larger, better world.
But it can also be a scary world. Things work differently now.
Never fear. That's why we're here.
We are your audio uncles. And with help from good friends and experts in all sorts of fields,
we're going to share the stories and seek the knowledge we all need for building a great life.
After all, you only get one that we know of, so you'd better make the most of it.
No shit.
Let's roll. Uncle Dan, we have quite a show this week.
Oh, we knocked it out of the park.
I'm feeling good about this one.
Okay.
So Dan is going to talk to us about a slimy, oily mess and watch out for woo.
We're going to dive right into that. And then Uncle Doug is going to come back and help us understand, or try to understand, Mormon hell? Heaven? Helven?
Helven.
Yeah, well, we're going to go to hell anyway, one way or the other.
If you're not Mormons, you're not going to believe this, and if you are Mormon, you don't understand it anyway.
Right,
so.
It's true. And then we're going to have an amazing discussion with our friend Paige.
Yep, we are going to try to help everybody get through the holidays alive.
Yeah, it's How to Holidays this week, and we hope you like it, because we sure did.
Yep, let's do the show. Well, this week in Watch Out for Woo,
yeah,
Uncle Dan has a shitty, oily mess to tell us about.
Okay, I do indeed.
Yes,
and the launching point is that a couple weeks ago, the Stinkies were in town.
The Stinkies.
The Stinkies were in town because many of our listeners won't know that Utah, strangely, is kind of the ground zero of multi-level marketing / not quite pyramid scheming.
Triangle-shaped, upwardly mobile business programs.
Right. So the MLMs are strong here, and one of the biggest products that is sold by these people is essential oils.
Essential oils.
It is a rough time when the doTERRA convention is in town or whatever, because all of downtown is taken over by people who smell bad, or rather smell very strong. There's a strong odor everywhere, and I've actually seen restaurants with signs on the door that say, "Please don't open your bottles in our restaurant." Because
really, I've never seen that. That's crazy.
Because when 50 people are all trying to sell to some stranger in a restaurant, and they all open up their bottles to, no, this one's a thing. Now this one will cure your bronchitis or whatever. And then before you know it, you have 400,000 different potent scents assaulting your nose.
Yeah, they're over-odored people.
They are. They are. So anyway, they were in town, and it prompted me to ask myself, what are they doing?
What's up with this stuff?
What is going on? It turns out that they think that there's a lot to these oils. They're not just smells.
It's not just parfumery.
No.
Right.
Although, if you look at the websites, that's all they're really allowed to actually claim. Too much. For the longest time, like many woo pseudo medicines, this is not heavily regulated by the Food and Drug Administration here in the United States, because it's not considered a drug,
nor a food,
although people do ingest them. So they can make a lot of claims, but they also make claims that they can't possibly make that are very, very dangerous. Sellers of these things will claim that they will cure pretty much anything, including, I had a cousin come out of the woodwork when my dad had been horribly, horribly injured, who was very sweet about it and wasn't trying to force anything on me, but had offered to send across country several oils that he swore if I rubbed them on my dad's feet, it would help him with the healing of his massive third-degree burns. And I politely declined and said, no, we'll go with medicine instead for that. But that's the level. That's the deep, abiding belief level that we get when we talk about essential oils.
Tell me more. Well, like
They can do anything. They can do anything.
Wait.
You have to understand.
No, that's cannabis.
Right. Well, there's that too. We should do a woo about cannabis, but that's a whole other kettle of worms. What we're talking about here is plant-derived oils. So these are I mean, a lot of them, the most common ones are things like lavender, mint, and whatever. And these are the oils that
basil oil. Yeah.
Yeah. They originally were used for what became known as aromatherapy.
So this is kind of new.
Ish, yeah. I mean, it became this thing where so people started to use because some people felt calmed when they smelled lavender, or some people felt invigorated when they smelled a citrus oil or something like that. They felt energized.
It's a powerful sense that we have.
Indeed, it is.
And it does have emotional connections.
Yeah. Now, there have been lots of studies on this. Now, the vast majority of the science and I'm going to put this in quotation marks, science about essential oils is conducted by, guess who? Essential oil companies.
Big oil.
Well, that might mean something different to some.
Big essential oil.
Big essential oil.
Yeah.
And they have a vested interest in it coming back beneficial. Of the studies that have been done independently, it's very hard to get any studies that show any conclusive benefits from essential oil. Even aromatherapy. There's a really interesting Time magazine article about it that quotes a study that was done by a guy named Dr. Edzard Ernst, who was
already suspect.
Already,
that name is very suspect in my book.
Absolutely. Well, wait until I get to the other guy.
Does he live in Paraguay?
The boys from Brazil.
Yeah.
No, he was the former chair of complementary medicine at the University of Exeter in the UK, and he published a few studies. And basically, he came to the conclusion. He said, "Here's his quote: Aromatherapists claim that specific oils have specific health effects. This, in my view, is little more than wishful thinking." Wishful thinking's big in the woo world. Matter of fact, maybe that's the most succinct definition of woo.
If you reduced woo down to an essential oil,
that essential oil would be called wishful thinking.
Wishful thinking, yeah.
Now, strangely, wishful thinking can be a very useful thing. A lot of time, there have been several studies that have shown that the placebo effect kicks in pretty hard.
Yeah, the placebo effect is real.
Yeah, and so it may be that when you have lavender oil, just dipped under your pillow or whatever, you may go to sleep easier because you expect to.
Yeah. You believe it's going to work, and therefore something happens.
Your brain does a little tricksy doodle, and voila.
This, however, is not an adequate replacement for applying a tourniquet at the proper moment.
Well, yeah, exactly. Right. If your arm's off, don't put an essential oil on it. You're not going to do anything.
And it's just going to sting.
It'll sting.
It's going to be stingy.
True. It is interesting because... so there have been studies. This may bother people because there have been studies that have linked essential oils to things like improved pain tolerance or, like ginger oil lowering your level of nausea, that sort of thing. Unfortunately, none of those studies have shown a causal effect, have been definitive on this thing. They can show that there may be some correlation, but for instance, in one study, there was one study that talked about lemon balm easing agitation in dementia patients, But even the authors of that study said, well, but also someone administered this lemon balm, and the presence of that person could just as easily have been
calming to them.
The calming factor.
Right.
So it's all very tricky, and science is hard, and it's hard to know what to believe. But in the end,
we still do it.
We continue to do science. Yes, that's good. I mean, I don't.
No,
you do.
Yeah.
You're constantly sciencing.
It is a passion
all over the place. So here's the thing. And I will mention that I have a friend whose job it was. He worked for one of these big essential oil MLMs. He worked in the legal department, not as a lawyer, but as a guy who had to scan. Because multi-level marketing, kids, if you don't know how that works, it's basically you start your own business, in quotation marks, and then bother all of the people you know a lot, trying to get them to start their own aromatherapy business or their own essential oils
It's kind of the old
business.
Amway model.
Right.
Yeah.
Where you're not actually trying to sell the product, you're trying to sell the business idea model, and then they have to buy a bunch of essential oils to start their business so that they can show them off to people. It's more like the business model is, let me show off my collection of oils. Now you start a business where you show off your collection of oils and make them start businesses.
And everybody gets rich.
And nobody gets rich. Yeah. Do not do an MLM, kids. You're not going to make any money.
You know what's kind of funny too is Utah, as Dan mentioned, is the capital of this.
Oh yeah,
this chicanery. But it also interesting to me is Mormons do not reject medical science.
No,
they're not Christian Scientists. They do all the stuff. They get chemotherapy and they get gene therapy, all the things that people do.
Sure.
But on top of that, there's all of this gobbledygook from Utah County, like these essential oils, like Melaleuca, like Tahitian noni.
Sure.
Where it's like, it's probably a good idea to drink a vegetable root now and again, but you're not going to live forever.
But it's not going to change your life. It's not going to give you all of the health in the world. And that's what they promise. And here's the thing. So my buddy who worked in the legal department, his whole job was to scour people's personal web pages, because they'll set up a web page for their business to make themselves look more legit and whatever. And they he had to scour them and make sure that they weren't claiming that they did anything. Because if you made that claim, you were open to maybe getting a lawsuit and that could be problematic. So he had to keep calling these people and saying, "Hey, you got to take this off the website." Now they didn't say, "Hey, you've got to stop telling people this."
You just can't have evidence of it.
Just don't prove it, because people constantly say, this cured, and they all have a personal story. It's a lot harder to tell someone to their face, no, your aunt was not cured of cancer because she, did the fucking whatever root.
Tincture
oil.
of birch bark.
Cinnamon oil and potato oil. I don't know what all the oils are. I'm just saying that, yes, they don't cure your cancer.
Right.
Never, ever, ever.
And we brought this up a little bit when we talked about homeopathy, which is the stupidest thing anybody can say about any of this is, well, what's the harm? The harm is tremendous.
There is actual harm that's possible. Not only just people stopping. So yes, the initial harm, one of the scaries is that someone doesn't take appropriate, actual, effective medical interventions for their problems because they believe that their oil is going to fix it.
Right.
And that's a huge deal, and people get it. We could go on all day about families that denied their children good medicine because we can treat it right here. I've got all of the oils,
all the maple syrup I ever need.
Right. So that's one level of danger, but there are actual medical dangers to these things, including I found a really interesting article published in the New England Journal of Medicine linking lavender and tea tree oils. These are two of the most popular oils that exist to young boys growing tits.
Huh?
Yeah, a problem called gynecomastia in prepubertal boys.
I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Their mothers are rubbing it on their chests to help them sleep better or
they
to
get
help
tits?
them. And they grow more breast tissue than a young boy typically should have. So, like, these do have an effect. Like, let's make no mistake.
Weird.
They can have an effect, but the fact that it hasn't been studied, the fact that it hasn't been treated the way drugs are treated in the U.S., which is, tremendous levels of testing, scrutiny, and then even after it's approved by the FDA, continued reporting on the safety and the effectiveness.
And even after all that, some of that shit is still deadly dangerous and unaccounted for side effects, et cetera, et cetera.
Medicine is not an exact science. We still have a million billion things to learn about how these human bodies work.
Yes.
But one thing we don't know is all of the ways that oils affect your body.
Right.
Apparently boobs is one way.
Boy boobs.
Boy boobs is one way. But there's also other things, like people think that it's going to protect them when they go outside, and so they rub some oil on them, and suddenly it makes sunburn 1,000 times worse, rather than helping. There's so many reports of also ingesting it can be incredibly dangerous. It can make you very, very sick.
Is it meant just to be a topical treatment, just skin?
Usually. Now, they do have, there are, quote, experts who can teach you how to ingest a safe amount. And there, we all kind of ingest a lot of oils. I eat mint, I eat cinnamon, all of these, the thing that makes
fried
them...
foods, butter.
Well, that's
all oily stuff.
That's all oily, but this is these essential oils are what are known as they're what are they called? They're compounds that are what's the word?
Kind of distilled, essentially, like.
Well, they are. They're highly concentrated.
Concentrated, yeah.
But they're also these are volatile compounds, which means that they go easily from like a liquid or a solid state to a gaseous state, which is why, you can leave them out in your home with a diffuser and they just sort of make your home smell good.
They'd make the stink all that time.
Right. But it also means that they react to the body in a weird way. So like, you rub them into your body and you may get some interesting health effects, some interesting effects. But also you can,
do some
damage. And it just hasn't been studied enough to know what's going to happen. Other than like every now and then we catch one of the bad things and go, oh, we can now this person all have this in common. Okay, we can attribute it to that.
I have a kind of a slightly sad and hilarious story about that.
Yeah.
No, I don't, and we can talk about this particular woo another time. But colloidal silver.
Oh my God, yes.
I have a very nice older uncle who got into all that stuff. And I don't know how he did it exactly, but he had a little bit of an overdose of colloidal silver.
Only takes one time.
And he looks like he's purple.
Yeah.
He's a purple man.
It turns you blue.
Yeah, he's like a blue, purple, gray man. And when we buried my grandmother, I kind of joked with one of my nephews that it looked like we were burying the wrong person. He's permanently blue.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, ingesting this stuff. And colloidal silver is a different thing, but
it's an entirely different thing. But the problem is that when you don't, when you make wild claims and don't have any backing up except for anecdote, and let me tell you something: anecdote's the most powerful thing.
Yes,
if someone tells you a story about how this helped, I can tell you 5 stories about how this person's, whatever, their breathing was bad, they had bad asthma, and this oil cured them and they breathe perfectly well now.
Right.
And I can tell you 5 stories about a specific person and I can tell you their name and show you a picture. That is a very powerful thing for a human to respond to.
Especially if you're in a bad way.
Yeah.
If you're hurting, if you're having trouble breathing, whatever it is.
And you think, I've tried other things, what's the harm in me trying this? Well, there can be harm.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you like the smell of an essential oil in your house, go ahead.
What's the harm? Like,
you're going to be fine. You can put up a diffuser, and other people may not like it. That's the other thing, by the way. Not everybody likes the smell of lavender. I don't like the smell of lavender.
I don't like intense smells at all.
Yeah. But if it's good for you, knock yourself out. Just don't believe that it's going to save your life.
I think the underlying skeptical ethos always is that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence.
Yeah.
So if they're saying this stuff cures cancer, just demand to see the evidence.
Well, the problem is that they'll show you some evidence, and some of it's from the company,
It'll be extraordinary evidence in that it's garbage.
Yeah, so it's tricky. These labs, these companies hire these labs to come up with the results that they need. So it can be tricky.
Yeah.
Just know that if the entire medical establishment hasn't embraced this, there's something going on.
Yeah.
And keep your eyes open and your ears to the ground, and that's going to be enough.
Watch out for woo, kids.
Moving on.
Well, Uncle Dan.
Yes, sir.
We are going to talk about great and weighty matters today.
Indeed.
In this segment of Let's Go to Hell, brackets heaven and brackets. We are going to talk to our friends out in the Podverse about a very particular heaven. And to do that,
it's not just one heaven. I don't think this is one heaven.
It is kingdom upon kingdom upon kingdom. And to do that, we have invited an expert in the field, my brother and your uncle, Doug.
Everybody's Uncle Doug. Uncle Doug, come! Thanks for coming back, man.
I'm back.
Hooray!
Hooray!
Uncle Doug, you, like Uncle Mark and I, were raised in the Mormon faith.
I was indeed. And Doug was a professional Mormon for a 2-year stint.
That's right. Not like you amateurs.
That's right.
I stuck with it. I actually ended up spending 2 years in Central America on a Mormon mission, where I taught some of the stuff we're going to talk about today to Central Americans.
As I understand it, in the lap of luxury.
In the lap of luxury. That's right.
They're in Shitsville, Honduras.
San Pedro Sula, this luxurious city in the Americas. And home of we'll talk about this later, Lamanite peoples.
That's right. I was teaching directly to Lamanites, which I don't know how many of your listeners know what that is. Maybe we can
give us a 10-second version of that.
In the Book of Mormon, there are 2 tribes that populate the entire story. One is dark and evil. One is white and delightsome. The dark ones are the Lamanites. The white ones are the Nephites. The dark ones kill the light ones and then become the Native Americans.
And that was great.
And they're Jews. So
for more on this, refer to the God Awful Movies episode that Mark and I guested on.
God Awful Movies 112, I think, the passage to Zarahemla. So, Doug, tell us about the heaven that the Mormons hold so dear.
Okay, so I'll do a very quick recap of kind of where the Mormon heaven came from. Obviously, it came from Joseph Smith. Go ahead.
And I'm going to point out to our listeners that Doug, you came prepared with visual aids, which isn't helpful for the listeners, but is useful for us in that I'm just going to point out, like, pages full of imagery to try and fucking wrap your mind around.
This visual clip art flowchart is the visual representation of a Deepak Chopra sentence.
We're gonna have to get this and put it on our website for this episode.
Yeah. We'll put most definitely.
All right, Doug. Go ahead.
By the way, if it doesn't happen that these are on our episode or on our website, listeners, just know that they got to us.
The goons,
the Danites,
or we forgot. Anyway, one of the
Mormon
two.
Goons.
Why don't you walk us through what we got here?
Okay.
Mormon. It's not just heaven.
It's not just heaven. So Joseph Smith, when he was creating his new religion, the Protestant religions at the time were fiercely anti-Catholic. As we all know, we didn't elect a Catholic president until 1960, and so their notions of kind of cosmology and religious fervor were they tried to define them away from Catholicism. And Catholicism's very binary. It's heaven and hell. It's darkness and light. It's bliss or suffering. So Joseph Smith, given a free hand to create his own afterlife, came up with a far more, slightly more nuanced scenario.
Okay.
And there's a great quote in a Simpsons episode where the school comes upon a ton of money and everybody gets what they want. And Otto, what he wants is, those guitars that are like double guitars?
Yes.
That's what he wants. That's Mormon heaven. Joseph Smith just added a couple more spots to it and called it good.
It's a triple guitar.
It's a triple guitar. So as is laid out in the Doctrine and Covenants, which we will not go into,
Thank God.
But if you want to know about the Mormon faith, do not read the Book of Mormon. It teaches you nothing about the Mormon religion. If you must learn about the Mormon faith, read the Doctrine and Covenants, and I highly recommend that you don't.
If you want to know about pre-Columbian seafaring submarines, absolutely read the Book of Mormon. But if you want Mormon doctrine, try to choke down the Doctrine and Covenants.
And by all means don't. But it's just a series of revelations that Joseph laid out the actual doctrine of the Mormon Church. And in 3 revelations, one of which was also the revelation pertaining to polygamy, he laid out his notion of a Mormon heaven, which is basically we are kind of eternal beings that lived in a pre-existence with God and Jesus and Satan, who hadn't fallen at the time. And we were sent down to this earth to toil and be tested and then to be judged. And then we will go on to what are 3 degrees of heaven. So Mormons don't believe necessarily in a hell. They believe almost all people will be saved. And they will go to one of 3 places in the afterlife.
Yeah, that's one of the weird points about Mormonism that I think a lot of non-Mormons really like. Once they learn this, it's a bit of a freak out moment.
Surprising.
Because theoretically, Hitler ain't going to hell.
No.
He is going to the worst of the 3 heavens.
That's right.
Which is spectacular.
It is apparently, by his own description, far better than the world we live in now.
And you would kill yourself if you got a glimpse just to get there.
That's right. And you would go there if you killed yourself because
you don't get to go to good heaven.
you do not. There's all kinds of... So, the 3 kingdoms are called the celestial, which is the highest, which makes sense. The terrestrial, which is the second highest, which, okay. And then the telestial, which I'm pretty sure doesn't really exist. I know it doesn't
As a
exist.
word.
As a word.
Yeah.
So
Did he just make that up?
I think he might have just made that up. There are 3 kingdoms, and basically the highest level of Mormon heaven is the one that probably all of your listeners have heard about, where you get your own planet, but in reality, they can't see me doing air quotes, can they?
Doug is doing air quotes.
They can feel it. They can sense it.
You really get your own universe.
Yeah, you get to be creator.
Quick diversion. Who gets their own how do you earn that?
To get to the highest level of the celestial kingdom,
You have to sell all of the cookies and half of the
You have to be the top seller of Tahitian noni.
you're overlooking one extremely important anatomical prerequisite.
Oh, right.
A penis.
There you go. Got to have a penis.
First, dick. That's
dick.
Like anything in life, first is dick. Okay,
That's right.
next.
It says that on my family crest in Latin.
No, it doesn't.
So
I do like the thought though that Mormonism should just their motto should be just dick first.
primus et dickus.
Bros before hoes. And visitors welcome.
No, in fairness, I think that the objection could be raised that ladies can go to the celestial kingdom,
Absolutely.
and be part and have their own. Basically, they can do all the things that they can go to the places that the guys can go. They just don't get to be the god when they get there.
They just had to marry well.
Right.
It sounds like you're trying to convince a woman to go to a Harvey Weinstein party right now.
The Mormons are trying to do that. That's not me.
Okay, we'll cut that.
I do think that it is. I mean, because there's this whole Mormon thing about like we have a heavenly mother. We don't
Right.
just have a heavenly father.
Right.
We have a heavenly mother who's in heaven, vacuuming heaven right now. I think is what she's
Vacuuming the sky blue carpet of heaven.
But that's exactly it. Women can absolutely go to the highest level of the celestial kingdom, but not unaccompanied.
because
No,
men,
right.
because men got to eat.
right. Sandwiches in heaven don't just make themselves.
All right, so
And it bears just one quick thing. The Mormon conception of heaven, even today, is 100% polygamist.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
That's right. So even though Mormonism has officially denounced polygamy on earth,
the workaround is the commandment is still valid beyond the veil.
Valid, yeah, absolutely.
so in eternity, and this is an interesting point too, because like Mormon Mormon general authorities have come out, in the years before gay marriage was legalized in the United States. They came out in no uncertain terms that marriage is between one man and one woman, and at least one of the guys that was saying that in his own theology, not in reality, because he had been married before, he had lost his wife, she had died, and then he had remarried. This is Russell Nelson, I think, that I'm talking about. And the fact that he had remarried another woman meant that by his theology, he was married eternally to two women.
He gets them both.
So this one man, one woman nonsense, he was talking completely out of his ass because he was already in a one man, two woman scenario.
That's right.
All right, so did we establish who goes to the Celestial?
Okay, Celestial Kingdom is active Mormons who have paid their tithing, which is their taxes to the church. They've gotten married in the temple. They've done their endowments. They're Mormons through and through, 100%. Bang, they go up.
And married.
Well, yeah, which is one of the requisites.
Is it that democratic? I thought it was a much higher bar than just kind of.
Well, it is, but do we want to go down into that rabbit hole today? So think of the most active Mormon you could possibly imagine. He gets in,
and he does. Yeah, and he doesn't fuck up too much, and he repents when he does, and whatever.
Then he becomes God the Father of a physical planet orbiting a star,
a physical universe. Like, let's not. The Mormons do not believe that there are planets beyond our reach or that are too far away for us to communicate with, where there are Mormons living on those planets. There are. The God of this universe is the God of this universe, and he was once a man like we are, and he attained his godhood, and now commands this entire universe, this entire existence.
When this theory was developed, I think it was called yarn theory.
I think what's amazing about this is that what we're learning is that Mormonism is polytheistic,
entirely polytheistic,
though there's only one God. For us.
But it's like the military. The only guy who matters is your commanding officer. Right? That's it.
Not his guy.
No.
There's a chain of command.
There's a chain of command. And then quite literally.
And one day you too could become second lieutenant.
It's pronounced lieutenant.
Lieutenant. I continue.
Yearn for that day.
So just to break it down, there's the second level of heaven that is for mostly good and honorable people, but who just weren't willing to kind of go the extra mile. The last level of heaven with the celestial kingdom, it's for everybody else. I think, homosexuals, Muslims,
us,
you guys.
So it's the best place to be.
It'll be the most fun place.
Literally, yeah. But again, also, Charles Manson's there.
Yes.
This is not a place. This is not a place that, like. Again, it's a great place. There's no punishment.
No.
There's no fire and brimstone.
Look, I'm not saying the parties don't get weird there.
And
they get weird.
Let's take it just a few steps further. Your average not great Jew will be sharing the same heaven with Adolf Hitler.
Well, that makes sense.
That's
that
awesome.
Makes perfect sense.
I think everybody's happy about that. I don't see where the complaints could come in on that point. The truth is, if they wanted to do better, they could have just become a Mormon.
That is, in a nutshell, that's exactly it. So there's one last little place that it bears mentioning. It is the actual Mormon hell. It's called Outer Darkness, and it is reserved specifically for those who had a testimony of the church, who knew it was true, and denied it.
But it's not just like people who had a testimony. It's people who knew that it was true. Like you had to shake hands with Jesus.
Basically.
Right.
Yes.
You needed a serious revelation of the truth. And then deny the truth of it, which seems super weird if you'd met Jesus.
Right. It's literally the place where no one will ever go.
Nobody there.
Right. Which is why it's so dark, apparently.
The one guy that filled out the form wrong. Oh, fuck. I mean, yes. Oh, come on. It's paperwork.
There is a light switch which no one's turned it on.
I feel like the whole concept of outer darkness, my image entirely of outer darkness is that moment in Superman 2 with the mirror dimension.
Oh, yes, General Zod.
With General Zod. And I feel like a good nuclear explosion could bust out some of these apostates from outer darkness.
It's worth looking into.
Now, what is spirit prison?
So spirit prison is when we die before judgment, if we were pretty good, we go to the afterlife. If we were bad, we go to spirit prison.
That's right. There's a waiting room.
This is pre-judgment, so pre-degrees of heaven.
So it's not hell.
It's not hell. It's like a waiting room. It's very much like that. And the good people in the afterlife will go proselytize, will serve missions to the bad people.
Oh my God.
And try and convince them.
This is the most dismal. We did Buddhist hell, which is terrible. This
is worse.
Mormon heaven sounds worse.
Yeah, Mormon heaven. Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, we're not even anywhere near heaven yet.
Yeah,
we're
right.
just in the goddamn
Vestibule.
holding area.
Yes. It's all such a corporate, multi-level marketing experience.
For our Mormon friends, we're in the cultural hall.
in the foyer.
In the foyer.
So you have the opportunity in the afterlife to accept Mormon religion if it was never presented to you, which again begs the question: why would you not accept? You die, you realize, oh my God, this is all true. Who's to be like, nah, I'm good.
Like right now.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't believe in an afterlife. Should I die on this planet and then suddenly be aware that I'm in a different place and looking around, I'm going to be adjusting my beliefs.
Here's all the evidence you didn't have in that life.
Right. Proof.
Yep, proof.
Here's proof.
Nope. Not for me.
I really liked where I landed back on Earth. I think I'll just stick with that.
So then there comes judgment, and we get dispersed to these different various levels of heaven.
And I think that that this is an interesting point. One thing I don't want to gloss over is the fact that when you're in spirit prison because you were a naughty, naughty boy here on Earth, someone could come to you and say, hey, here's the truth. We did some work for you back on Earth. We made sure that there's a baptism that you can accept for you.
Someone was baptized in your name.
There's a temple endowment for you that's been done in your name. You can just accept all of those things here in spirit prison.
Just sign this paper. Just sign it.
Also, here's a nice lady or here's a nice man. You can marry them here. You can do all of that shit after this earth and still go to the highest heaven.
Yes.
Which means...
Is that true? You can go...
Yes. Yeah. The Mormons don't believe a lot of people will. But...
They're stupid. I would fucking directly if I found myself in the DMV in the sky.
Right.
Right. And there was a mission. I'm like, yes, you don't even have to, don't give me the discussions. I'm done.
I'm in.
Sign me up. Because I hear I get my own planet and shit.
Oh, it sounds like a lot of work.
It does sound like a lot of work. Yeah. I mean, maybe that's the reason. Maybe like when you're there and you're looking around and they're like showing you what the different heavens look like, there's just so much pressure on that higher one.
Yeah,
fuck it.
You work 6 days a week and only one rest, and
it's kind of the opposite of being picked for football when you were a kid.
Right. You're like, no, don't pick me.
He's there. I don't want to go there. Yeah.
Yeah.
What if you get some super shit planet too, like Venus?
I think the idea is that you create your own. So look at our planet. Our God clearly did not do a great job. Our God was kind of shit at creating people. We always murder each other. We always fuck each other up. He's so mad about it that he every now and then has to shake the Etch-a-Sketch and start all over again.
Yeah.
Get 4 guys on a boat and then just drown everybody and try again. So, I mean...
You're poking a lot of holes in this thing right now.
I'm just saying he's not very good at it. I'm saying maybe the Mormons are right and not all of the gods are great at godding.
You do think about the random, carpenter from Provo having to run a universe.
Right. Yeah, my plumber, theoretically, is supposed to run his whole own universe.
He doesn't even plumb well.
No, he's actually shit, in point of fact. So there you go.
He's not a listener, is he?
I'm beginning to think anymore.
This is absurd.
What?
There's one last thing that I love is that if you can visit down in these heavens.
I remember this. Yes.
That's
if you're
right.
in the celestial kingdom, you can pay visits to the terrestrial. If you're terrestrial, you can go down to telestial.
You get the key card for the elevator,
but nobody goes up.
Right. And you can go back up.
So
you can go and visit down. What's amazing about that for me is that there's this whole concept of families can be together forever if we all go to the and so the visiting down thing is like, oh shit, my family member, my sister is gay, so she's not going to go to my good heaven, but I can visit her, so great.
Families will be together during visiting hours,
right? Because I'm off creating universes with my cornucopia of wives. There's no time for me. How am I going to be visiting together forever with people? They're doing their...
And after the first million years, what are you going to talk about when you go to
What do you talk about at the So you're down, Dan. You're down in the Celestial Kingdom with Charles Manson and Hitler.
How dare you?
And Ed Koch, and it's like your family's like, hey, how's it going? You're like, it's good. It's weird. It's kind of a strange place. There's a lot of murderers, and then just kind of folk.
But mind you, I'm gonna pause you there because everybody gets perfected, right? Am I right about this?
They get perfect. Yeah, they get perfect bodies,
and that means I would assume that means that their brains are perfected as well, which means that they may not have the psychoses anymore.
You just put more thought into this than anyone before you.
It actually sounds like Logan's Run. Classics.
Sorry, go on with what you were saying.
No, but then your family comes down from the greatest glory,
right?
And they don't want to take a big shit on you. That's like, so Mom, Dad, how's it going? Oh, it's just.
I know. Instead of being like,
the universe,
it's fucking amazing. I created a galaxy yesterday. It was amazing.
I farted and created a race of people.
Yeah. What do you talk? What do you talk about? And because it's eternity. There's no looking at your watch and being like, oh, babe, we gotta get back.
Right. It's like, why?
Yeah.
No. Yeah. This is it's almost this little part of the discussion makes me feel like it's almost as if this might not actually be true, which. That can't be right, can it?
And again, it's what is your concept of hell? Is hell eternal fire and burning, or is hell being stuck in the same day over and over for eternity
with perfected people and perfected weather and the buffet never closes?
Right, and it's Turkish delight, and for dinner every night. You're just like, oh,
what
God.
is that? I don't know what Turkish delight is.
Turkish delight is.
Yeah.
Do you have any listeners in Turkey?
We do actually.
Have you not read your C.S. Lewis?
It's a really sugary confectioned dessert
that you eat in the Celestial Kingdom.
I don't think it has anything to do with turkey at all.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, I think it's dumb. I think can that be our conclusion? Is that it?
I would just simply say Mormons are very proud of the fact they have a more nuanced heaven than say Catholics, but you follow that down for about 3 minutes and you run to the end of it. So,
there you go.
I think it's dumb.
I think we figured it out.
Back to spirit prison with us. Moving on.
Well, Uncle Mark.
Yes, Uncle Dan.
Some listeners have come through for us yet again.
What a week. It just keeps happening and happening.
And it is a beautiful thing. We put these things out there into the world, and the only way that you and I are ever going to get remuneration for this is if people like what we're doing and decide that they want to participate by becoming patrons of the show.
It is your support that will get us both to non-extradition countries in time for that to matter.
When we need that. So we're hoping to build this up from the point that it is now. We have some folks to thank. So I'm just going to dive right into that.
All right, let's do it.
Thanks to Shelley, I'm going to read the first and last name on this.
All right.
Lack of compromise on slavery.
I got no beef with that.
I got beef with where that comes from, but that's very fun. Rick, thank you to Rick. And then because we've made this pledge, we owe Scott a special kind of thank you.
Because Scott has come through as a $10 an episode patron, he has earned a customized heaven as promised.
This is a heaven only Scott gets to go to.
Right.
And it's for him alone. I believe you can guide us through this particular heaven.
Well, Uncle Dan, I'm very excited to introduce you and Scott to where he will spend eternity.
Oh, goody.
Scott's heaven is a very special place to spend a high-demand eternity. Scott's customized heaven is called It's a Little Bit Hot in Here, isn't it? Is it me? Imagine a premium upgrade at Sandals Resort.
Ooh.
Then imagine yet a further upgrade.
What?
And not even the good people at Sandals know about, which is crazy good. Then imagine a high-end version of that exclusively for the people who have built the secret high-end super sandals and have killed countless people to preserve that secret.
Ooh.
It's an all-inclusive paradise. And even within that, there is a members-only cove. That is where Scott will find himself eventually.
Oh, Scott.
Now, it's a little bit hot in here, isn't it? Is it me? Is absurdly wonderful. Every finish is fantastic. The towels are pathologically thirsty. The sheets are of infinite thread count. Sunburn does not exist.
Oh.
And there is always a premium hammock with the best view on the stupendous beach.
Wait, I need to start donating to us because this sounds amazing.
Come on, people. How could this be any better? I'm glad I asked. There is music, sweet music. There is music in the form of a string supra dodeca mega giga megatet. That's a 43 million member string orchestra who will forever play an ever so slightly progressing version of just the violin solo from the band Kansas's 1977 mega hit, Dust in the Wind. It's exquisite, but trying to discern the almost indetectable differences between each repeat will occupy a huge amount of your attention, day and night, forever. Especially because the volume is really loud. It's so loud, it makes talking or hearing over it fairly exhausting. And while it never rains or snows, it is a bit hot. Actually, it's really hot. Now, you're going to feel it, Scott, but you'll soon see that in the deafening music, people are sweating, but seem really reluctant to mention the heat. It's a big no-no. Why? No one can say. But the fear you see in their eyes when you yell the question into their ears is palpable. Oh well, it's relatively tolerable in the shade, and why ruin a good thing, especially with so much food? What sort of food? I'm glad I asked. Holy smokes, the food. Okay, there is so much food. All day, every day, and again all night, every night is a sumptuous buffet table 300 miles long that wraps the cove. Every delight imaginable is there for you for free forever, Scott. All of it drowning in really, really warm mayonnaise.
Oh,
yeah, you're going to have to get used to loving all the mayonnaise. It's exclusively a mayonnaise-intensive cuisine.
Oh, dear.
Is there Swiss steak? Yes, in mayonnaise. Is there pad thai? Yeah, in mayonnaise. Is there tandoori chicken? Yes, and it's in mayonnaise. PB&J? All day, drowning in mayonnaise. For the first few billion years, you'll feel pretty queasy, what with the heat and the fucking music and all the casseroles, etc. But eventually, you'll welcome the creamy inevitability as a momentary respite from the fucking music. And in this eternity of tepid heat and thrice daily food poisoning, we wish Scott all the best in his custom heaven from which there is no escape and no return. Amen.
In the name of everybody, amen.
Moving on.
Definitely moving on.
Uncle Dan.
Yes, sir.
We have a very special returning guest with us.
We do? Someone came back?
Someone came back. Well, he got lost. There's a lot of cul-de-sacs.
Not everybody has a lick of sense, okay?
That's right.
For a very special holiday how-to, we have our friend Paige.
Paige, welcome back to the show. We're very happy to have you here because there's impending doom on the horizon.
Always.
Yeah.
In that we and many of our listeners who are no longer church believers are about to be forced into the specter of spending time with their believing families, and that can be awkward. So
Yes.
we thought we'd bring you on to chat about how to deal with those fuckers.
How to Thanksgiving, brackets, Christmas, and brackets.
All right.
Yeah.
The holidays.
The
Yes.
holidays.
Now, for our international listeners, we have an annual dinner occasion where drunk racist family members yell at the rest of us in celebration of the genocide of the Native Americans.
It's a good day.
Over an animal carcass.
Yes,
which
indeed.
makes it special.
Yeah, over kind of an unpalatable
Yes.
bird species.
We've really hit the jackpot here in these United States in terms of celebrations.
Yes, you may not understand our ways, but they're very important to us, international listeners. So the American Thanksgiving is traditionally where, and Christmas actually, are traditionally where if a family is going to come unglued, it's going to be on one of those nights.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. No, I went to a concert once, and I wish I could remember her name, but she was describing Thanksgiving at her house when she grew up. And she said, generally, we hung out, got progressively drunk, and then typically the Thanksgiving turkey got thrown through a window before we were able to actually eat. And then we had pie, So,
There you go.
I think I've heard that. I wonder
yeah,
who that was.
it's just kind of crazy. So it can get dramatic. So.
It can. So let's maybe in this conversation we can save a turkey tonight. This is my goal. We can rescue a turkey from its defenestration.
Like the president who is undoubtedly going to cock up the turkey carving
Oh my God!
in new and exciting ways.
Oh, that's right. This is his opportunity.
We can do some good here.
This is the best turkey. This is the finest turkey we've ever seen. I pardon you. I pardon all the turkeys. No one can eat turkey.
Except that one is fat. Yeah.
I bet he gropes the turkey.
I bet, yeah.
I'm just
Oh
saying.
yeah, he sees some breasts like that. He's not going to let those
Who
go.
can keep his hand off that
ungroped.
waddle?
It's taking an ugly turn already.
Okay, all right. So
Where are we going? What are we talking about?
So let's
Thanksgiving.
paint a picture. I'm going to paint a picture for you, Paige, and maybe you can give us some guidance here. I am at a table, surrounded by family, and I want to be there. I mean, let's. I don't have much experience with Thanksgiving being problematic because growing up Mormon, most of the families that I deal with didn't drink, and drinking seems to be a nice cause of something. But let's just assume that one of our listeners is at a Thanksgiving table with all these family members, and they are the only ones who don't believe in Jesus.
Oh.
And then the topic comes up because somebody's going to get drunk enough that they're going to say, Sam here doesn't even go to church anymore.
Yeah.
At which point, we got awkward. We got rough.
Yeah, and as often it's the people who are in that mindset are at the Thanksgiving dinner are generally in the same mindset to begin talking about a certain former president and his foreign birth and the demand of the birth. So it's kind of there's the dangerous street there of the religion politics. So yeah, Dan's sitting at that table. What is a non-believer, drunk or otherwise, to do at Thanksgiving? And is it incumbent entirely on us to preserve the peace?
Well, it's just like me to back you up a little bit here.
Oh, yes,
Okay,
good.
so here's a question. Why are you there?
Well,
Free turkey.
For turkey.
I don't know that that's a great reason to be. I mean, I think most.
You may be able to get that at the soup kitchen that day. I'm just saying, there may be easier venues.
With less Jesus, probably.
Yeah, but seriously, why are you there?
It does strike me that for most of our listeners, and for me, when I put myself into those kinds of situations, is because I do genuinely love the people that I'm there with.
Yeah, there's a reason you're there.
Yeah.
And it has to do with either DNA or shared personal histories, or these are the people you love, right?
Right.
So I think you want to back up and say, why am I here? Be clear why you're there when you go. Because if you want to litigate the question of, is there a God? Wow, that's an interesting event and interesting timing.
Right.
Now, somebody else may want to litigate that. They may want to do it at your expense. They may have had a snoot full and been emboldened, but why are you there? If it's because you love these people, take another step back. I mean, who's the heretic here in the room? To be a heretic is to choose, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so not everybody chooses their religion. In fact, I think very few people arguably choose their religion. But if you're the one who's choosing, you've entered into a room making a choice that separates you from the tradition of these people.
Right.
Now, there's going to be a few of them who are unnerved by that.
So you should yell at them.
Absolutely be open with that. In fact, from the street, finish a bottle of whiskey and just start up, preemptive action.
Lay on the horn in the car.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't want to go that route,
Right.
and you want to consider an alternative, I think you have to take a look at, when we choose, those of us who've stepped away, we're unnerving people. When you step away from tradition and history and family and all that stuff, they're experiencing a certain amount of anxiety. Now, not everybody handles anxiety great. I don't know whether you've noticed this around the country lately.
Wait, what?
Yeah, we have a couple of guys with tremendous power, and they're just unnerving all of us.
Yeah.
And when you look around, things look worse, and people are handling anxiety by becoming more deeply polarized. Mm-hmm. Now, if you want to be a part of that, here's your venue.
Yeah.
Drunk Uncle Phil decides to, make it an issue that you're a non-believer because he's so uneasy with somebody stepping away from his belief pattern that he has to argue you down, shame you, or call you to whatever. No, you really want to bite.
And that's I guess that is the question. So many people, I think, especially when they first leave their religious tradition, when they first leave their church or whatever. I mean, I get it. You want to evangelize. You found something that's real to you, that's meaningful, that's deeply that is very powerful in your life.
Absolutely. Set you free, so you want to share the good news of your new gospel.
Right.
With these people you may love or not fully hate, in the case of Uncle Phil.
But we just dropped one God. Do we want to take on another one? I mean, really, do we want to embrace a new gospel of atheism in the face of these people who we just unnerved by, making a choice, being really, truly a heretic, stepping away? They're already uneasy. Okay, so Thanksgiving rolls around. Here's an opportunity for somebody who's afraid to polarize a room, and all you got to do is bite.
And everyone will be made wildly uncomfortable for the rest of the day.
I don't know about you, but when drunk Uncle Phil says something to me and it pisses me off and I retort with something I believe is unbelievably clever, I think everybody just eases up, right? I mean,
it really breaks the ice.
It really does.
Everybody's thankful.
Yeah.
It's everybody's joyful at that moment. It is.
Phil, you weren't always anti-abortion.
Yes. The vibe in the room, I mean, it's palpable. You walk into any room and it has what some of us psychotherapists call a shared neurobiological field, right? And that's, part of this kind of interesting bit of neuroscience, but...
Nerd.
Okay, yeah, total nerd. But you walk into a room and it has a feel, right? And when drunk Uncle Phil talks, suddenly that neurobiological field takes on a rather toxic turn.
Gets a little charged.
Gets very tense.
Yeah, and really, you got an opportunity here. Everybody in the room knows what drunk Uncle Phil's up to. Now, they may support it. They may not support it. I don't know how that's going to go. But everybody fills the room when he does his shtick, and it's a shtick, and it has an intention to it. He wants to trigger you.
It's loaded.
Draw you in. This is loaded for bear, man.
Yeah.
This is NRA loaded. Let's take this non-believer down kind of thing. Well,
right.
All right. Well, if you want to bite. And you can argue and you can litigate the matter there. You can become defensive and so on and so forth. And, I mean, what would that sound like, by the way?
Well,
should we role play this? We do this a lot in therapy.
Yeah, let's role play.
Yeah, you two role play it. I just want to listen. And we'll,
who's who? You have to cast us.
Okay, Uncle Phil.
Uncle Mark is Uncle Phil.
Hello, everybody. Sorry I'm a little late. Fucking car again.
Yeah,
fucking bitch ex-wife of mine. Fucking.
Okay, well, why don't you sit down and join us for a meal?
Oh, yeah? Phil. Okay, fine. I'll fucking sit over here. It's like no room at the end. Shit. That's what.
By the way, I already hate Uncle Phil.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah,
let's fast forward to a little later in the meal when Uncle Phil decides to get his wild hair and come after.
I think if we go around the table and talk about what we're grateful for, that would be really a good idea. Maybe some of us here fucking care about anything. Don't tell me not to swear.
Well, I'm just grateful to be here with family, Uncle Phil. What are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for the redeeming blood of Jesus and his forgiveness of pieces of shit. I've said it. Pieces of shit like you.
Option one. Bite deeply on the hook that Uncle Phil's thrown.
Fuck you, Uncle Phil. You know what? Your stupid religion doesn't mean anything. Have you even read your goddamn Bible? It's ridiculous. It's the stupidest thing I've ever read in my life.
Why are you so full of hate? Why?
And now you get to look bad. It's like Dennis Rodman fouling Karl Malone, and then Karl retorts, right?
Right.
It's this interesting moment where...
What are we talking about?
That's a sport thing?
Yeah, it's a sport thing.
It's also from the 90s. So
I was hit on the head recently, so I've lost some time. But, if you bite, you join in that neurobiology. What did you just do to the room? You have an opportunity here. It's so irresistible to go with option number one, defend yourself, attack, do that thing. But look at the country. I mean, look what's going on in this country with people polarizing. We don't live forever. We don't have forever. Maybe this is the last Thanksgiving. You really want to argue with Uncle Phil of all people? Whose mind is open to change, by the way.
Well, and
no, it's not.
Right.
So what's option two look like?
Yeah, I mean, so I do want to just mention also that it's not just Uncle Phil that you're getting. Like you're trying to zing Uncle Phil,
Yeah.
and meanwhile, Mom gets her heart broken.
Absolutely.
Dad doesn't know what to do anymore. Everybody at the table is just in pieces.
All the
about this.
feels have been activated.
Absolutely.
Everybody's having their own response.
And you've alienated yourself from this whole family.
Well, Uncle Phil's shtick worked
Yeah.
the way that Donald's shtick works with people. So if you want to go with option A, the easy one, defend yourself and attack Uncle Phil. But there are other options. There are other options. I mean,
Sure.
you can look at Uncle Phil in the eye and say, "Hey, Uncle Phil, how about us Pilgrims and Indians just have one day of peace, and you and I get together and we'll argue this out tomorrow. That'd be fun."
Ooh.
Now, what happens in the room?
Yeah. I mean,
I think you just got the speaking stick if you did that in the room. I think.
Yeah, no shit. Who
Yeah.
just took the room?
Who reduced the tension that everybody was
Bingo.
feeling?
Everybody's dying. They're sweating bullets because you've been set up. And what did you do? You pulled the rug out from under Uncle Phil, but you did it peacefully. You've set a new possibility in motion. Now, Uncle Phil may escalate.
right.
I wouldn't be the one to try to de-escalate Uncle Phil. You already took the high ground. You didn't bite. It's just past the potatoes time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it really is. Why are we there? Remember, we go back to the question number one. Why am I here with these people? Do I love them? Do I share DNA with them? Are we some form of a tribe, however tattered? And, you know, our tribes are pretty tattered right now. If we're there for good reasons, let's not bite on things that are irrelevant to our purposes for being there.
But Paige, he started it.
I know, and it's irresistible.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about you, but every time I get one of my news tweets, in the morning at like 7 o'clock, my heart starts to pound.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, I've been attacked right out of a sleep. There's an interesting thing that we know in marital therapy, and that is when your heart rate hits about 90 beats per minute, you can't think well. It's only 90 beats per minute when you're compromised intellectually.
Wait, are you saying that's a high heart rate?
No
Okay.
shit. Some people walk around.
I should probably
close
go
to
to the
that rate.
doctor.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are so stressed they're living it close to that level, and you can't negotiate, you can't problem solve, you can't be clever, you can't do the good work because Uncle Phil dropped the bomb on you, and your reptilian brain is so activated, and you're just fired up, and it's all fight or flight. In that
Especially
moment.
because if in a family history, someone like Uncle Phil knows where your button is, and he knows where Mom's button is, and he knows where Aunt Claire's button is,
Right.
because these dysfunctional, schmucks have lived in this tribe forever, right? So
You're saying that we all know Uncle Phil. Mm-hmm. Everyone in that room knows Uncle Phil. They know his shtick. They've been on the bad end of it, okay? So you get a real opportunity here. Now, if you can't quiet yourself down and you bite on Uncle Phil, we're off to the limbic system races, and we got a bunch of reptiles in there, and it's all fight or flight. It's very, very intense. And, Mom's pie is now wasted on this crew. The turkey is just bitter and awful. This meal is ruined. And why did you come?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why Uncle Phil came. I don't know why he stopped off and got a box, his bottle of wine or whatever it is that he drinks. But you better be clear about why you're there. Otherwise, you're going to want to argue. You're going to want to bite. Instead of take that deep breath and center yourself. To get yourself into a better place, to just bring yourself back down. If you're under attack at a dinner table, breathe yourself down. Take a few of those deep breaths. When we were kids, our mom said, take a breath and count to 10. Well, actually, that's rooted in some common wisdom, isn't it?
Yeah.
Give yourself a break. Don't feel an obligation to respond quickly to Uncle Phil, because if you do, it's likely to be the reptilian part of your brain. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what your experience is with reptiles, but mine is they're not real warm and fuzzy.
No.
Okay.
It's not a cuddly time.
Not a cuddly time.
So, I guess a way that listeners could kind of bone themselves up for this moment is to say, look, if you've left a religious tradition that your family is deeply ensconced in still, or however they're involved in still, if you go into this by telling yourself, all right, I've already evolved to a different place than they're at. And I'm not saying be an arrogant prick, but I'm just saying give yourself that knowledge of saying, I've evolved beyond these ideas. If I go back in there and take a bite out of Uncle Phil when he, lays the trap, I'm back in there with them. I've got to be the better person.
Well,
in a way.
At least be the best version of yourself you can be.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's all we can really show up with is, find the solid part of yourself. If that means taking a deep breath, settling yourself and remembering why you're there. And you may have to really have a mantra. I'm here because I love Mom. There's got to be some way to ground yourself so that you remember I'm here because I love these people. And strangely, we've all got some drunk uncles who we love. And while these are imperfect people and they can be attacking and some of them are sadistic and they're deeply confused and they're scared. Well, you really want to litigate it on, Thanksgiving, Christmas. So that's, I think, how you begin this process. Remember why you're there. Breathe yourself back down to a solid place where you can get in touch with the best version of yourself that you have to offer and take the room back.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you want to litigate it, great, but know that you're going to change the neurobiology of that room, and you're going to be a part of ruining Thanksgiving because it's not just Uncle Phil now, you bit.
Right. And by biting, you do have responsibility in that.
That's when it becomes your issue. Mm-hmm. Until then, everyone in the room knows
he will
Uncle
be blameless.
Phil. It's so weird. People forget some of that stuff.
Yeah.
It's really true. Now, I don't think that everybody is as bad as, drunk Uncle Phil.
Right.
A lot of people are a lot more passive in their aggression.
Sure.
Those knives come very, very stealthily.
Yeah.
I remember being asked to offer the blessing.
Oh, yes.
After it's
That's
very
a
clear
classic move.
It's funny, and it's a little clever, and it's passive-aggressive, right?
Yeah.
And so...
And you're like, I didn't bring a goat. I don't have any salt. I don't...
See, that's really good. And I just said, which God would you like me to pray to?
I love it. I love it.
And then I put my hands up in the air and began to chant. And half the table completely cracked up. The other was just shook their head, and we moved on and let someone else offer the blessing.
See, now, when I was asked to give a blessing by my first father-in-law, I said, okay. I just took him up on it.
Why not?
But I didn't do a dick move. I definitely could have done a dick move. I don't think I did. I just bowed my head and said, may we all be grateful for the things that we've received today, and may we all continue to love each other as deeply as we can.
Wow.
Amen.
And what happened in the room?
I think it was great. And I will say that, I guess this is tooting my own horn. But I will say that...
sometimes we have to toot our own horns.
I'm doing it, whether I have to or not.
Stop giving him permission, for fuck's sake.
Toot away, bro.
It's bad enough.
But the way it worked was that, my father-in-law asking me to do that made the whole room really uncomfortable. And my mother-in-law freaked out and was like, oh, don't do that. Why? Oh, you know better than to ask. And I said, no, it's okay. Mm-hmm. And I did this, and I feel like it was a beautiful peace offering that actually went a long way.
It's amazing.
He took the room back.
You took the room back.
Now, what you're talking about, Paige, is we've all experienced a million different times. Dan and I were talking about it before we sat down to record, which is that passive believers or hyper-conservative people talking at you by talking to each other.
Right? Oh, I love that.
The power of prayer, Gretchen, it's just so powerful.
It really is,
there's nothing it hasn't done for me in my life.
It can cure your cancer. It can do anything. It's the most beautiful thing.
I would hate if I didn't believe. I don't know what I would do.
It would be the end of my life if I gave up my
and you're
belief.
sitting right next to them and you're like, I know
Absolutely.
you're fucking talking to me.
Right.
Yes. It happens. So what do you want to do with that?
That's a tricky one.
Do you have a play that's going to work here?
It feels like no. It feels like you are you've got nowhere to go with that.
Well, you do. So where do you go?
There's some tools in the Uncle Phil toolbox for that moment, but
yeah, all total dick moves.
Yeah,
right.
Or this is just taking that deep breath, centering yourself, and being the best person that you can be in that moment. And whatever that looks like, great. Some people have the gift of humor. I mean, they are so gifted that they can melt a room, and
right.
They can, if that's your gift, great, use it. If your ability is to be calm and serene, go with your gift. Whatever your best self is, I think, this ought to be a day that we bring it. Maybe it's a season we bring it. I don't know. You guys can decide for yourselves, but this country is deeply polarized, increasingly frightened every day, and it's getting to the point that we're having hard times talking to each other. So if you want to take the room, it may not be that hard.
Right.
Calm yourself down. Quiet your own breathing first. Get a calm heart and a quiet mind working for you. Find that solid part of you.
And
Find
tell a
something.
filthy joke.
Dirty jokes can be very disarming.
Totally.
Thanksgiving. Yes.
I actually agree. Like
Yeah.
it's something a little off color in a strange moment.
Know your room.
Know your room. Know your room. I mean,
Absolutely.
there are families that would not go for that at all.
But what I mean is,
That would see that as an Uncle Phil
I
move,
totally
but-
read what Paige is saying here, which is, do something to change the dynamic in a positive way.
Yeah, why not be the hero? Because everybody's sweating bullets when Uncle Phil pulls in the driveway.
Right.
But they also know Aunt Margaret,
Yeah.
who's been passive-aggressive with everybody.
Right.
There's, Aunt Sally, whose piety she's worn on her sleeve so long and shamed everybody.
Right.
There's all these versions of this. And then there's just people who are relatively innocent about it, and they're just kind of, I swear, they're kind of dull and plodding in their relationships with other people, and they just naturally assume that everybody believes what they believe.
Right.
And I remember a woman who came to my house who's a member of my wife's congregation, and she looked at me astounded when somebody said that I was an atheist. And I looked at her, I said, I know, it's so hard to believe. I seem so nice. She was in a state of belief, and there was nothing about her that was intentionally shaming or anything. It was her automatic self. This is just who she is.
Right.
She couldn't believe that a person could be nice, that she could respect them, that they could be considerate. I'm tooting my horn now. Could also not believe what she believed. Somehow they had to be very, very different. So in taking the room, what you're doing is asserting the possibility that somebody who doesn't share your belief can show respect for you, can bring their best self to the room, and you can have the disarming moment of being with somebody that they probably love you, who's solid but doesn't share your beliefs.
Right. And in so doing, maybe you take the topic off the table in a way.
Yeah.
So I'll toot my own little horn here for a second.
Oh,
right.
it's a toot fest over here.
This is a circle toot.
This is. I'm so glad we're not doing video yet.
I think I may have invented a new term.
I
Yay,
like it.
Paige,
All
circle
right.
toot. I think you just named the show. So years ago, when I first got with who's the man who's now my husband, he's from very conservative, rural Mormon Idaho.
Uh-huh.
And rural Idaho is more conservatively Mormon than most of Utah.
Yeah.
So it was the first time I was going up to meet the family.
Yeah, that's a moment, isn't it?
That was a moment, and I was like, oh boy, farmers, the whole deal. So we got Woody, a piñata that was Woody from Toy Story, and we covered him with black crepe so he looked like a pilgrim, and filled him with candy. And then we got one of those horribly racist gas station, like Indian war bonnet,
Oh, nice.
feather hats, and a little tomahawk. And before dinner, we got all the kids outside. My husband and I got all the kids outside, hung up the pilgrim, and then they had to put the war bonnet over their eyes like a blindfold and smash the pilgrim.
Wow.
It shattered the ice.
Isn't that amazing?
I was in like Flynn. It was amazing.
And you really took the room.
Yeah.
I mean, suddenly Uncle Phil's stuff's not going to work.
Right.
Yeah, it was so outside what they expected.
Right.
And it was so fun and so kind of loving and silly that I think it just
Wow.
changed the dynamic
Silly,
of my whole
fun-
life.
Silly, fun, and loving?
Yeah.
What an intervention, eh?
Yeah.
That's not what Uncle Phil's bringing. That's not what Priscilla and Margaret are bringing. I mean, why not bring your best self to the event and wait for another day if you want to have an argument about religion? I mean, frankly, it seems pretty profitless with most folks. People seem to find their way out of faith on their own largely. Then they'll start to reach out to people. I don't think Thanksgiving and Christmas is the time to argue your point, even though Uncle Phil or whoever may want to do it. You took the room with a piñata.
Yeah.
I mean, these are the kind of weapons that we have at our disposal. It could be wit. It could be the piñata. It can be just de-escalating. It could be sitting peacefully and looking at Uncle Phil with a smile. And then when he says, "What's that shit-eating grin about?" He just said, "I love you, man."
Yeah.
I mean, I know it sounds corny, but look at the fucking country. It's a bit of a wreck. It's time to be a healing force in this thing because we don't live forever. Some of those people may not return the next year.
Right.
If your last memory of Uncle Phil is how you told him where to shit in the woods, how is that going to sit with you? I mean, We don't have to be a part of the polarization and the division just because we're heretics. Just because we stepped away and liberated ourselves doesn't mean we got to create a new religion and get everybody to believe in it.
I love that.
There will people who will be drawn to you, and they're going to be most powerfully be drawn to the piñata intervention.
Right.
I mean, look what you guys did. You did more for gay rights in that moment than you could possibly have done, and there was nothing said about.
It set up the whole evening for fun.
There you go.
And community and getting to know new people, and it got even better. Where afterwards, his little nephews took me out in the potato field in the back, and we killed Woody again with 22s.
Oh, so sweet!
It was a very American moment.
Yeah.
But also, I think Paige, you're right that like no amount of you making the logical case for gay rights would have had anywhere near the effect on these people of just seeing two loving gay men doing something sweet and fun for
Bringing
the kids.
something wonderful to their family.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Why not bring that as your gift?
So,
because we live in an environment where recently I heard someone defending Judge Roy Moore.
Oh, God.
With, Jesus and Mary, or not Jesus, no, Mary
and Joseph.
Mary and Joseph were very different in age, too.
right.
Someone actually said that as a defense.
As a defense for a man who was sexual with a 14-year-old.
Right. And Joseph wasn't. The whole point is Joseph didn't fuck her, but that's another thing.
It's such a crazy moment where people offer defenses like that. So the piñata, it doesn't get better than that.
Yeah.
Yep.
You advance yourself by being solid, bringing your best self to the moment. That's the best thing you got to bring to Thanksgiving. It's not going to be the best dressing you ever made or that really cool sweet potato pie. It's really bringing your best self.
And it's more active than what many of us do, which is just sit there and take it.
Oh, man.
Which is just go, I'm just going to shut up and I'm going to put up with it this year and I'm not going to start a thing.
Right.
Although sitting there and taking it is heroic in its own right.
It just sucks.
Well, it's really interesting because everybody in the room knows what's going on.
Right.
Right.
They also know you're not biting, so they know that.
And
Yeah.
it's still making it terribly uncomfortable.
But the ability not to bite, just if you can't muster anything but just not biting, I feel like even that is a heroic maneuver.
Absolutely. So you take a few deep breaths, you chant, silently to yourself. I'm here because I love Mom. I'm not going to ruin her day, or whatever it is.
You take another Xanax and you just stare at the fire.
Take another Xanax and have a whiskey. Yeah, you bring your best self, whatever that looks like for you.
Your best self and your flask.
Yeah, why not?
I think
Better living.
I think there's some satisfaction to take from that approach too, Paige, and you can tell me if I'm wrong. Many of us we have a podcast about this. Many of us have a slightly evangelical sensibility that we want to kind of spread what we think is the good news in a way of truth. But if you do something that's wonderful, if you show yourself to be the better person, the champion of sanity and kindness, or whatever in that moment, when people are ready, they'll come to you.
Yeah.
You're going to be that person they can go to. Everybody has doubt. I mean, have you heard these stories? Do you think that everybody's believing them hook, line, and sinker?
Right.
I mean, I used to believe that a man translated ancient texts using 2 rocks and a hat.
Yeah.
Am I the only person who doubts the efficacy of rock hat translation? I mean, there's these other stories, which are largely Egyptian myths that have been turned into the story of Jesus, that are rather extraordinary claims. God came down, gave life to in a woman's body, and that's the savior of the world. Okay, all right.
Global floods, Red Seas parting, all that stuff.
Walking
Other
on water.
people have doubted that, and if they have questions, if they want a question, great. You're going to be a quality human being that they can come to and they can say, "Wow, I've got some doubts too. What do you think?" And they're going to seek you out. I don't think it's necessary to go knocking on doors, either at Thanksgiving or otherwise, trying to have these kind of conversations. If you're a solid human being and people want to have those, great. Otherwise, we're evangelical in the same way. We've just become the mirror image of what we have left.
Right.
Just garbage in, garbage out. It's more poison at the table.
Other side of the coin.
I just want to be one God less than the other guy.
Right.
I don't want a new God.
Yeah.
Not this new gospel that I'm involved with. I don't want to preach it to anybody. Now, if you do, great. I think Richard Dawkins is doing killer work, okay? He's taking no prisoners. He's straightforward. I like what Sam Harris is doing in these guys. We can all have our part in that, but our pulpits are very different.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, how do you want to do it? I like the pinata pulpit that you got going there, man. You won hearts and minds that day. You became somebody. Now, one of those cousins is gay, and he's going to need to come out.
Yeah.
Who's going to come out to first, given the pinata experience? Right. I mean, we can become the walking, breathing opportunity for better living if we're our solid selves. But to do that, you got to breathe down that limbic system, that reptilian brain that just wants to fight or flee that room or freeze, the 3 Fs of the reptilian brain. And you can largely do that just by breathing in and breathing out. Breathe into a count of 4, out to a count of 8 for a few breaths until you've got a more clever thing to say than we typically do when we're in that mode. Find the solid part. Get grounded before you respond. Now, maybe rehearse a few possible things, but it's really tough to do that. So just do what you can do to be your best self.
Right. Now, I want to do... this is such a beautiful message, and I hate to follow it up, but I do want to discuss one other possibility, and that is, what about just not going? What about people who feel so triggered by, let's move on from Thanksgiving to Christmas.
Right.
And Christmas, for many families, is all about Jesus. And that's rough for people who have left Christianity. It can be there's a lot of pain that can be associated with that. And a lot of times, this is it's the time of year when even the nicest people in your family feel totally at ease throwing Christianity directly at you. And I wonder how I want to give permission on some level to say, I guess you don't really have to participate in this.
You don't. I highly recommend doing Christmas in a Buddhist country.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Skip town.
Why not?
Or go to Chinese food.
Hey, you can go to Mexico for Thanksgiving. You don't have to do it with your family. I mean, this notion that we're obligated because we share DNA, or even that we love these people, we're obligated to be there. You're going to probably feel some fairly intense pressure and lobbying to be there. That's true. But if you're too triggered, maybe you make another choice. And for some folks, religion harmed them deeply. I have some real harm about religion, and I get impatient that people before me didn't do their due diligence, But, I've believed a lot of crazy shit. I still do. Just because I gave up one God doesn't mean I don't have other crazy notions. And
is it the tooth fairy? You believe in the tooth fairy?
Well, yeah. Is there something wrong with?
No, I think all that makes sense.
Okay, good. Yeah. So I still get
where do teeth go?
Yeah.
Answer me this.
Yeah. Well, how do you want to do this life? And if you can't be with your family because you've got all this harm, and some people have been terribly harmed through religion. Some people have been molested by their priest or their bishop or whatnot. They've got tremendous religious harm to them. There's other people who they were taught that it was true, and people affirmed that so strongly they believe them, and now they feel tricked. And so
right.
I get it. Okay.
And if those events like a family Christmas can be as they would be for me, are very deeply uncomfortable, unhappy times.
Right.
And I think that, Dan's hit on the right thing, that it's okay if it's like that for you, it's okay not to go.
Yeah, it's okay to
do anything.
You're
not obligated.
It's okay to do anything you're doing from the solid part of you, right? I mean, get quiet, get calm. If you need to meditate or you need to go for a hike or whatever.
Pray.
Pray.
Oh, wait, no, wait.
Whatever that looks like for you. Get in touch with that solid part of you. If it says go to Thailand for Christmas, by all means go. But you don't get to bring the piñata to Christmas if you go to Thailand.
Right. You do. That just at customs, it's going to be super, super weird.
People will be totally confused. I'm speaking in mixed metaphors here. So,
yes.
But you had this opportunity with your piñata intervention that you won't get if you go to Thailand. If you're not ready for that level of functioning, go to Thailand. Go to Mexico for the holidays. I mean, whatever works for you.
I guess my my last question or my last piece of advice that I would ask is, how do I have the conversation with Mom about, I'm sorry, I'm not coming this year for Christmas?
Well, what's the truth?
Right.
What is the loving, kindest truth that you have to offer your mother about that? I'm so triggered, I can't really enjoy it. I'm going to take a break. This is not forever, because I don't know what in the world is forever. I have yet to figure that out. Death, maybe. This is not permanent, but I need the break. Okay.
I'm a big believer in, having come out of a very bad situation, I'm a big believer in the efficacy of absence.
Yeah.
That if you cannot work it out, if everybody's just Uncle Phil, if they never lay off the triggers, take some time away. It doesn't have to be permanent.
Right.
But
absolutely.
maybe they'll miss you and they'll learn to think of another way to interact with you that isn't so damaging to you.
And even if they don't learn anything, you can spend that time building the better you.
I like that. And I think you're both hitting on really important ideas. I'm working really hard in my life. Here I'm at 61 years old, been in psychotherapy for 35 years or so, and I'm still trying to figure out how not to try to control the world. Mm-hmm. How to just control myself. I don't want to live my life dependent on other people behaving in a way that I think is right. Because then I lose all my sovereignty, all my independence.
All your time.
It hinges on their choice. I don't want my life to rely on that. My well-being cannot rely on them. I lose my independence when it happens. So waiting for people to change, okay. Leaving, not being there, people begin to realize, well, there is a real life cost to me if I continue to harangue this person and they're distancing from me. And people oftentimes won't change unless there's a cost. Mm-hmm. But man, I tell you, doing that for a reason is betting that they'll change and adjusting your behavior to support an imagined change. Take back your sovereignty. Find the solid part of you. Make whatever call you do because that's what works for you. If that's Thailand for Christmas, go. If you need time away to deal with triggering, please do that. If you can bring your best piñata ass to, the event, man, that's a gift. Maybe you mentally prepare to be that, kind of piñata superstar.
Yeah.
If you can't, man, a break is a beautiful thing. Give yourself a break. We all need to give each other breaks. So let's just make it happen.
Oh, I think those words are my Christmas gift for this year.
Merry Christmas, Dad.
Thank you so much,
Merry
Paige.
Christmas. And you know what? I got to say,
I'm going to take back the motorcycle that I'd purchased for you.
Yeah.
and just as a cap to my atheist brothers and sisters out there and friends, here's how I react when someone says Merry Christmas to me. You know what I say?
What?
I say Merry Christmas.
Why not?
Boom.
Yeah, because they're being nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they don't know what my situation is, and it's not my job to hit them over the head with what that is when I'm checking out at the register.
You got preachy on us.
Let's not be a dick.
I'm just kidding.
Well,
Let's be our best selves.
And it's a strange way of just kind of taking the room.
Let's foster good feelings.
Yeah.
We can all just foster some good feelings. It's what I was always taught this season was supposed to be about.
It's such a great Christian idea.
It's an atheist miracle.
Oh, guys, what a great discussion. Thanks for coming, Paige.
Yeah, Paige,
Oh,
this
it's
has
always
been
fun
amazing.
hanging with you guys.
It's great. All right.
Thanks for the whiskey before the show. I appreciate it.
Ho, ho, ho.
It is 8:00 in the morning.
That's right. It's never too early.
Well, thanks again, Paige. This has been a great segment, and let's move on.
Moving on.
Well, friends, that's it for this week's show, and man, was it a good one.
Yeah, hey, we'd love to hear from you. We always enjoy feedback, especially this week. Especially once the holidays are over, if what Paige had to say was helpful for you, write to us and let us know. You can email us howto@howtoheretic.com.
Or if the advice Paige gave you was a catastrophe, give us a call and leave a voicemail about how you no longer have any family. And that number is 903-88-HOW-TO, which is 903-884-6986.
Yeah, hey, we love our patrons, and if you want to become one of the people that help us make this show go, we would sure appreciate it. You can always go to howtoheretic.com and click on that Patreon tab, and then you can choose whatever level you want to become. You want to donate. Our $1 per episode donation.
We love you.
It's fantastic, and you can afford $4 a month.
But if you got 10, you saw how amazing heaven can be.
Yes, indeed, you could get your own heaven. If you can't afford any of that right now, that's fine too. But we would like you to go onto your Pod Blaster of choice, your iTunes, your Stitcher, your whatever, and maybe give us a 5-star review.
Yeah, that helps boost us, and that's just more heretics around the world.
Yeah, it would be a wonderful thing for you to do.
Thanks to Cody Layton for editing the show.
Yeah, what a great guy he is, and thank you, friends, for tuning in. We sure do like it when you do.
Bye-bye, friends.